What's up, Pits? Welcome back to the Cherry Pit Podcast. This is your host, Melody, and this is the final episode of Season 2. If you listened to the last episode, you'd know that this 2-part finale is all about our event, Industries in Motion. So in part 1, I spoke with Alan, who was the president of the Communication Student Union at the time, and Harshita, who was the vice president, Internal Relations. And we did a little recap of the event. We talked about all the things that we loved. So if you haven't listened to that yet, please go check it out. This episode, as promised, will be the actual footage from the interviews that my co-host Chance and I did during the actual event. Now, I do have to apologize. A lot of our first few interviews with the students are basically inaudible because we were having mic issues, unfortunately. But we were also filming these interviews, so check out our YouTube page at SFU CMNSU, where you'll be able to view all of the interviews, and I've included subtitles as well. Luckily, by the time we started interviewing the industry professionals, we switched our mic, so those turned out perfect, and I will be playing those clips for you now. Okay, hello, we're back again. If you could just introduce yourself before you answer the question, that'd be amazing. My question for you as an industry professional, if you could go back and give yourself advice to the person who was a student before you got into the workforce, what would you say to yourself?
Yeah, no problem. I'm Hugo. I work at Market One. So that's sufficient?
Yeah,
that should
perfect.
be. One advice I would give is get certifications. I think nothing helps, at least in the last higher rounds that I've been in, stand out to me if you have certifications. Because one thing is studying about theories and kind of the workplace or the field at large, but when you can come to the table and be like, I actually have a certification on Facebook ads or Google ads, or I took a design course and I got a diploma in it, that's going to help you stand out. Build a portfolio. Portfolio is really good to me. It stands out to me. Like if you just build a website, maybe have your work live on that website, and then when you send a CV alongside your cover letter, you're going to have a link at the top. And so that means because I work with 2 screens, I need 2 screens. Believe me, you'll reach a stage when you have to, exactly. I remember, even as a student. So if I'm opening up your CV, I'm going to have your CV, and as I'm reading it, I'm looking at your website. So you're taking so much more screen space. And so certifications and portfolio right off the bat, even before you start looking for a job.
Perfect. That's amazing. I just have a follow-up question for myself, honestly. What kind of portfolio design things would you recommend? Is there something that employers particularly look for, like colors that stand out, design elements that stand out, stuff like that?
Yeah, happy to answer. I think what worked for me and what I definitely would advise is have a range of projects. So like you may be really good at designing magazine layouts, but then also build a brand. Like it can be a fake brand, and you can have a whole build out. So you can be the packaging for like a tea company. That's what I did. I don't have UI UX design skills, but I still built the look of a website, of a blog. And while it wasn't functional, I still printed it out and I presented it when I had like interviews. Lastly, something that people forget and that is actually a really good design aspect is presentations. Like you have no idea how way more engaged I am if the person giving a presentation has something that's beautiful. I'm just going to pay more attention.
Yeah, that's great advice. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Happy to answer.
Amazing.
Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you, Elizabeth, for joining us in IIM today. The question I want to ask you today is what's one piece of advice you would give to an undergrad student that's interested in entering a field like yours?
My one piece of advice would be to stay curious, whether that's curious about new opportunities that excite you, about people that you meet in any volunteer or work capacity. I think just staying open-minded and having a willingness to really learn and expand your growth is really key to success in any industry in communication.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's a great answer.
first of all, thank you so much for coming to our event. We're so happy to have you. If you could give yourself advice from back when you were in university, what kind of, now knowing what you know as an industry professional, what would you tell yourself?
Oh my God, what a great question. I have to think about that a little bit. I think the people that you surround yourself with is so important. I think in my first year, I did the classic thing where I joined everything, did everything, and really crammed my schedule, super packed and full. And then as I progressed in my academic years, I realized that having a closer knit group that are also equally high achievers, and that not only is that, but they would encourage you to reach your potential as well as you to them, is so, so important. And that's something that I've taken with me into the workforce as well. I think I also actively search whether this company or this team is the best fit for me, and I can help them reach their potential and they can help me reach mine. And so that's something that I've really taken from my undergrad experience into the workforce now. So that would be my main thing.
Awesome. That's so awesome. And just a follow-up question, how did you get started at the company you work at now?
How did I get started at the company I work at now? Well, funny story. First, I was applying to a bunch of jobs, and the first 3 interviews I got were pyramid schemes. Yeah, incredible. I loved doing that, having a whole month of that. I interviewed for a few more, and I came across Novus, which is telecoms, and I didn't think that I would be doing marketing until I discovered the world of event marketing, and I fell in love instantly because I'm an events girly, and they were really looking for someone to take on those projects too. So I think it just clicked and it fit, and the team I'm working with right now is so amazing. I love them so much. And ever since then, I've been thriving.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Of course, no problem.
Okay, thank you guys so much for listening and watching our very special Industries in Motion episode. Stay tuned for more. Bye, Pits.